I had led the development of codes of corporate governance, and some of those codes include codes like Mwongozo, codes like the CMA code for corporate governance practices for issuers, and the ICPSK code of governance for private entities. Now, as we went through the development of those codes, one of the missing links for me was the question of gender. And every time I asked people, what are you doing about the question of gender? Why aren't you having more women on boards, on your boards? They would say to me, Catherine, where do we find the women? And even when we find them, those of the ones we have on board don't speak. And so I said to myself, I have two choices. I can either sit back and keep asking that question, why we don't have more women on boards, or I can actually do something about it. And so I chose to do something about it. I got together 3 other friends, Calvin Nyachoti, Rose Lumumba, and Kirote Mori, and I said to them, why don't we set up something that brings together women to deal with this whole question of gender parity? And so we set up Women on Boards network in 2014. We had a great launch, great speakers. Our chief guest was Ambassador Rachel Omamo. Now, the network targets 3 levels of membership. The first membership is those women who have sat on boards, have retired from boards, but are not tired in terms of providing mentorship and guidance to the younger generation. The second category of women are those women who are currently sitting on boards. And those are the women we want to actually empower so that when they sit on boards, they are able to effectively deliver on their mandate as board members. The third category of members is those women who are in senior leadership positions in organizations, both private and public, but who are not yet sitting on boards. And for those women, it is to make them board ready. So that, you see, these women, their next natural step is to sit on a board. And we don't want them to sit, to get onto a board, and then they're like, oops, how do I behave? What do I do? So we build capacity in these women. We train them in areas of corporate governance. We train them on how to be effective women directors. And then we bring the 3 categories of women together so that they can network, they can share experiences, they can upskill each other, so on and so forth. In fact, within the network, we have what we call the coteries. What do we do in the coteries? We put together smaller groups of women, and the role of the coteries is to actually hold each other accountable. So if I belong to a coterie, and we make them no larger than about 7-8 people. If I belong to a coterie, I will go to my coterie and I will say, this year, my aim, my target is to do 1, 2, 3, 4. The role of the other members of the coterie is to actually hold me accountable to what I have stated to them. So the aim is to keep pushing each other up and pulling each other up and holding each other accountable. And also opening up doors for people. It is quite possible that one of us may know of a board position. And so to come to the coterie and say, guys, there's this company which is recruiting this type of person, would you be interested? Or there's this leadership position, or there is this business opportunity, would you be interested? So that's what the coteries do. Within the network, we ensure that we have monthly board talks. During those board talks, we invite renowned speakers. We invite people to talk to women, people who are professionals and experts in their own field, to talk to women about leadership generally. The last conversation we had, it was a breakfast actually, and we invited Catherine Musakali. It was awesome because she shared with women her tips about getting to the top, her tips about how women can be better women leaders when they get to boards, how they can be more effective when they get onto boards. So we have those board talks, monthly board talks, and then we also have the annual conference, which we have once a year. And in fact, this year it is happening in October from the 25th to the 27th of October in Mombasa, 3 fun-filled learning days. And during those annual conferences, we network, we interact, we learn, and really, we relax. So that's the second activity we have within the network. The third activity we have within the network is we have training on corporate governance. And currently, we have a crash program on corporate governance, which is 3 full days, 30 exposure hours on corporate governance on women leadership. The second program we have is a coaching, mentorship, and corporate governance program. And in that program, we pair you up with a mentor, a senior leader within the industry, a senior leader within the economy, and their role really is to help you become a better board member. And so whatever you learn in the classroom, you then discuss with your mentor. And the role of the mentor also is to open up doors for the people that they are mentoring. So that's the other activity we have within the network. We also have a monthly newsletter. And in the monthly newsletter, we share ideas about what has been happening within the corporate field, what is happening within the women leadership arena, and we also disseminate any news that we may actually have for the members of the network. So it's really been an interesting journey. And of course, when people join the network, when ladies join the network, we take their CVs, we take their profiles, and we are then able to provide a database for people who are looking for, organizations who are looking for board members. And I just want to emphasize that whenever somebody approaches us and says, I want a lady to sit on a board, we always ask the question, what skill are you looking for? Because we are not in the business of providing women directors. We are in the business of providing certain skills that are brought on board by the women directors. So it's not about tokenism, you're getting onto this board because you're a woman, but what are you bringing onto the board? And so we have had an exciting journey. It's been 4 very fulfilling years at Women on Boards, and we are looking to grow even further. So another category of members that we've just started is the junior membership category. And that is because we recognize that the earlier we start training our girls to aim for board leadership, the better. So we have recruited already 2 members who are juniors who have joined the network. They participate in our activities, and really what we want to expose to them is that it is possible for them to lead boards, to sit on boards, so on and so forth. When we have a critical mass of junior members, then we'll have specific activities for them to run. The benefits of joining Women on Boards network are quite many. And let me just start with the most obvious one. The first, we create a network that you are able to access this pool of very capable women who have been through diverse experiences, who are able to share with you, network with you. They'll point you in the right direction in the event you need any help. They are like your sounding board to say to you, if you're going through this situation, this is what we advise for you to do. So just that network is really a benefit that is invaluable for any woman. The second benefit for our members is, for the programs that we run, the members always pay much less than the people who are non-members. But the third and very good benefit for our members is that whenever we are requested to nominate people to sit on boards, we always start with our members. Who is our member? What skill do they have? And we match that skill with the company that is looking for a woman director, given the skills that we have within our network. Then, of course, the knowledge that we gain from the newsletter that we have is immense. You know, one of the greatest joy that I get from women on boards is when a lady walks up to me and says to me, Catherine, if it hadn't been for women on boards, I would not have gone for that interview. If it hadn't been for women on boards, I would not have applied for that job. And guess what? I applied and I got the role. Or I applied, I didn't get the role, but there was so much I learned in the process that I feel fulfilled. So for me, that gives me joy, great joy.